welcome back. Today we are going to continue thinking about monologues. In this section we are going to focus on the tools that are required to create an effective monologue. There are 4 tools that you need when thinking about writing a monologue, or embarking upon this experience. And if we think of them as tools, we're going to put those tools today in a tool box. So I want you to get a pen and a piece of paper. And on your piece of paper, I want you to draw a big rectangle with a lid and a handle like a toolbox. I'll just do one for you now. So big rectangle, like so. Can you see that? Okay, just a big rectangle. It's got its handle and its lid. And across the lid, across here, I'm just going to write my name and my writing toolbox. So you're going to have something like this, obviously with your name. Okay. So my writing toolbox. Now in your toolbox, in this space here, you're going to divide it almost into 4 sections, into quarters. And in each section here, we're going to draw or write the tools that we need. So the first tool that you need is a good imagination. Okay? So the more stories you read and perhaps computer games you play or films you watch, you will get inspiration from those. Use them, hold on to them. I think reading is the best. It opens up your mind and it gives you a great imagination to use when it comes the time for you to create your own stories. So first tool to writing a good monologue is a good imagination. So I'm just going to draw a picture of someone here with a thoughtful look on their face. And they've got a thought bubble coming out, and there's all sorts of things going on in their head there. So you need a good imagination, something like that. You can take your time a bit longer than me. So the next tool we need to think about is listening. Now if you are thinking about writing a monologue or writing a speech for a character in a play, you need to think about who that character is and how they sound. And all of us can get ideas from this by listening to people we meet or people we watch on television in everyday life. Okay? Everybody speaks in a slightly different manner. People have different accents. Some people speak fast, some people speak slow, some people have a high voice, a low voice. Some people use certain catchphrases. Some people, like myself, speak a lot with their hands. And all these features, when a person is speaking, are crucial. They're an important tool that you must include when you're writing a monologue, because it very much helps create the character to the piece of writing that you are working on. So, are listening. So I'm going to draw a little picture here of someone listening, and they're listening to the particular way a person speaks. So from this person's mouth, we can see them speaking, and we can see the other person listening. And I will just write listening there. So I hold that there. Listening. So listening is very important, and imagination was very important. Okay, so the next tool after listening, we're also using our ears. Well, we're not just using our ears, and we're not just listening to the person speaking. We're thinking more about the environment that they're in, how they react to it. So we observe carefully, and we use all 5 senses when observing. We'll go into this in a bit more detail in a future lesson, but our 5 senses are our eyes for looking, our ears for hearing, nose for smelling, tongue for tasting, and our skin, mainly our fingers. But you know, any sensation that we get, whether we're out in the cold, we'll feel it all over our body, all over our skin. We feel wet, we feel warm, we feel prickly, we feel soft, cuddly things. So we use all 5 senses. So when you draw in the next corner, just draw your ears, your nose, your tongue, your fingers, and your eyes. And that is for observing, really thinking about the whole holistic, the whole picture that you're observing, okay? Not just what you see or what you hear, but what you sense around you. Okay, so four tools. We've got 3 so far: imagination, observation, and listening. Our final tool, should I say, quite a tricky one to sort of describe, certainly a tricky one to draw. We're using our brain again. We're using our thoughts for this. So the way a person reacts when it's cold, or the way a person reacts when they taste something that they don't like, or the way a person reacts when they smell something that they think is really delicious, or taste something that's really delicious. They have an emotional response to that. And that emotional response that a person gives you to a particular situation or event or object gives you a little clue as to how that person is feeling. You don't know for sure, because people are very good at putting on an act, but with a little bit of what we call insight, so I'm going to write insight. So it's like seeing things that are going on inside a person's head. So almost like mind reading, seeing a person's thoughts. That's what insight is. And when you watch a person and watch the way they react, or listen to a person and hear the way they speak, you know, does their voice tremble? Is their voice getting faster and faster? Are they getting excited? We can gain a little insight into how that person is feeling. So insight is your final tool, and because we're using our brain and almost like mind reading, I am going to draw a kind of jelly brain there, with the person's face, and inside that I'm going to draw a light bulb, because we're getting a kind of insight into there. Can you see that there? Okay, insight. So I'll show you in a minute, just for better pictures of this. And in your toolbox, I want you to draw those 4 tools, and hopefully you will remember them and use them next time it comes for you to write your own monologue. Okay, I hope you enjoy creating your toolbox. Just to finish, I'll show you those 4. Good imagination. Listening. The ability to focus and notice people's speech patterns. Observing, using all the 5 senses. Insight, understanding why people behave the way they do. Okay, and all of these tools are going to go inside your own writing toolbox. Goodbye, boys and girls.